Hello, my dear ones. I hope this finds you all as well as you can get yourself. Oh, man. All kinds of things going on, huh? Interesting planet we live on, Master Jack. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. I've been working on I got to finish the book, and I've been working on it. Getting there. Like I said, poor Patty, she's just so busy. It's unreal how busy that lady is. Look at this. Exclusive leaked documents. American Dietetics Association is intentionally using state legislators to block alternative natural providers and restrict free speech. Sweet times, the planet Earth. That was in Forbes. The thing when someone calls the natural health field alternative, it gets my spikes going. Alternative? We are not alternative. Naturopaths, homeopaths, herbalists, all these people were here long before the medical community was. Long before, especially those that dealt with botanical healing. And yet they call us alternative. The natural health field includes all the sciences: color, sound, music, chemistry, physics, botany. Our field covers everything. So to call us alternative, yeah, that's just another narcissistic stab at trying to put yourselves at the top. All for what? Just for the money. It reminds me of one of the parties that all they seem to do is lie, and then, it's just about the money. It's like, what? Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if politicians understood karma. And that sort of thing. We're a little more awake. In the future, we should have a spiritual group run things, so to speak. You're more spiritual people that have no agenda, that have no greed, and just have, love for the divine. Before I get into this, I was thumbing through Fox News and this came up, and I couldn't believe it. And I wanted to talk about it for a couple of reasons, and especially because a lot of couples do have problems, and sometimes it's the male, a lot of times it's the female, low libidos and stuff like that. So this latest survey says that 32% of married couples do not have any sex at all. What? A third of married couple have no sex. What? 11% 1 to 2 times per year. 12% 1 time a month. 15% 2 to 3 times a month. 13% 1 time a week. 12% 2 to 3 times a week. And then only 4% make love with each other more than 3 times a week. I wonder what the 1% bracket would be. I find this crazy. The average adult only engages in intercourse 53 times a year. Who are they calling? That's people that have no libido, no adrenals. I tell you, when you look at libido, check your thyroid and adrenal glands. Both of those. I always find the thyroid above, and don't tell me how. I have no idea, but I have watched this with my patients for years and years because I have a ton of females come in, poor things, with low libido. And it's just the endocrinology that we're all facing. And it's just like that last video I did. It kind of got me unnerving when in this day and time you still have hospitals with extreme ignorance and responsible for our children. I mean, when you have a lot of extra calcium in the blood, when the first thing you think about is how about the glands that are involved in the utilization of calcium, parathyroid specifically, but you would be looking at the thyroid. It just happened to that young chap. I noticed the skin ring around his eye, and then that pulls me right into the thyroid gland. But you have to get your endocrinology healthy. And I want to go over this a little bit because diet is key essential. It is because you've got to look at foods, you've got to look at herbs as if they're conscious. They're little beings. It's like your little animals. Look at plants as little animals. You can talk to them. They respond to you. Look at Secret Life of Plants. If you want to read a cool book, get Secret Life of Plants. And that should bring about awareness that, oh my God, plants have awareness. Well, if everything comes out of totality, comes out of awareness or consciousness, then there's nothing that doesn't have consciousness, right? But at a certain level, I mean, in creation, everything is kind of blocked and leveled and things like that, so you can have the art of the deal, the art of the drama. So, anyway, I find it important that we look at this and understand that your diet is always number one, because opening up lymphatic channels is simply hydration. You want astringents. Those are the things that pucker you up, that astringe your mucosa, that pull. Like witch hazel is known as the strongest astringent. Well, white oak bark is just like witch hazel, but it's high in calcium and known to heal prolapse conditions, hemorrhoids, and things like that. White oak bark. Astringes, so it astringes and moves lymph. But remember, you only have a kidney for each side and the skin. And as big as they all are comparatively, you can only handle so much. So those of you that are detox geeks and get paranoid over it, sit back and relax. Diet uno one. You don't have to take herbs all the time. You know what? But if you're, why the endocrine gland formula? Why the nerve power formula? Why would I make why the liver formula? Why would you take these for? How about increasing the function or awareness of the respective tissue? See, that's what most herbs are for, is to enhance the function of. In other words, remember, herbs, you got to get this, herbs have awareness. Everything has awareness. There's nothing else. You could say dead as a doorknob and have nothing. No. But it might be pretty thin. And we always say, a lot of people look like they have a lack of awareness. But they do. We all do. To be embodied, it is a huge reducer of who we really are. And so it's your attention, and that's why I keep talking about freeing your attention from the finite. That's thoughts of all kinds, emotions of all kinds, and see what you see. And tell me how happy and nirvanic you become. That's why we're talking about love the other day. I'm talking about freedom. And people go, freedom? What is freedom and love? What do you mean? I have no idea. If any of you have been out of body, and as you shed all these thoughts and you shed these emotions and you pull back to becoming the observer, I mean, you're becoming yourself again. You're becoming all things again. I mean, it's really hard unless you have these experiences to explain that. It's very difficult. You have to have some out-of-body experiences and stuff, but for me, I would think that would be an exciting thing. You mean I can actually travel outside of my physical body? No. Oh my God. I mean, that intrigued me like nobody's business when I was, 21? Something like that. I go, I'm an old farm guy, guys. Out of body? Gotta try it, gotta do it. So don't get too anal about detox. If you suddenly, we were talking about this with Jessica, a couple of her clients are, a little on the anal side. And it's if you opened up all your lymphatic channels at once and you astringed them, you might not be a happy camper. You must take things as they go. Relax. Take your attention off of detox, because if you put your attention on detox, it might just bring some healing crisis on you. Relax. As you let go of your attention on these little things in the material worlds, you will bring more divine energy through you. That's the true healer. So when you sit back and just let it be, let things happen as they are. Even if you've got tumors sticking out all over you, it's too late to worry about it. It's too late to go, oh my God, I'm freaking, I know I'm going to die. No, it's too late. Sit back, relax, learn about the lymphatic system, get the pedal to the metal in the diet, go on the right herbs to open up these channels to enhance the function of tissue. Most people's endocrinology is way down. Look at how many people are too short or too tall now. Now we're seeing a lot of 7-footers and then a lot of 5-footers. And then, of course, that messes with all the other endocrine glands, and then we have all kinds of problems. And that's where we're at. Use botanicals to enhance the function of, to make cells stronger in what they know to do. That's consciousness. That's things that you can't touch or feel. That awareness comes out of the divine, the creator that created all this. And it all comes out of it. It can't come out of anything else because it's totality. You can't have anything outside of totality. It's total. That's why they always use a circle kind of as a designation. You know, there's no beginning and no end. But for you ladies that are having problems with that, libidos and stuff, work on your endocrinology, right? Work on your endocrinology. And guys, you got to understand, women have a lot of hormonal and steroidal issues that they have to deal with. And so you just have to realize that. Men have the same problem. A lot of your older men can't even get it up anymore. You know, around here, and they're taking all these things, and it's like, no, get your prostate healthy. Of course, a lot of them have them yanked out, but get your prostate healthy. You know, get your adrenal glands healthy. There's your gonadals. You know, and, be the man you guys are. You know? Get up to that 4% or 1%. One time a year. Hi, honey, let's come together one time a year. Oh, Lord. That freaked me out. I couldn't believe it. Then they didn't even put durations. A couple hours or 5 minutes. That's why health is always important, because all facets of life that bring enjoyment, you can miss out on. And so it's always fun to get your body healthy again, get normal again, start smelling again for the first time. You'll start hearing all the things that start to open up when you remove all the mucus and congestion and all the acids out, all the swelling and the edema. You move that out of the body, and you can't even imagine where your physical body can go with this. The endurance level, just on and on and on and on and on. All right. Brendan Powers. That sounds familiar, but I like the name, my friend. Brendan Powers. This is a 37-year-old male, 6 foot. So we would definitely, because I look at everybody's pituitary, so it doesn't matter, but it's just, I'm trying to stick this in your mind, how that can snap endocrinology problems. Especially in our students and our healers and stuff. I want you guys to know. Medical doctors, I don't know what's wrong with them. Sick puppies. I don't know. Not the surgeons, not the I'm not talking. You know where I stand with that. But if you're a GP and you're treating diseases with pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, and some of the stuff in these hospitals, they kill people in hospitals. You know that, right? There's a kill ratio even each nurse has. Listen, I've been there. Don't tell me. And you don't go to the hospital to get killed. I need help. Will do anything. It's been 5 years. Oh, wow. All right. It's about himself. I have been trying all fruit for 5 years now. Wow. Fruit for 5 years? You should be Superman. I'm extremely depressed, but if I take parathyroid glandular, it adds to my entire anxiety. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I react to most foods and herbs, even lots of fruits, so I can't take a lot of your formulas. Okay? I have to buy each herb separately and see if I have a mast cell reaction to it. A mast cell reaction to it? I can't imagine that. Are these mast cell reactions from too much fungus in me? You know, that's a good question. If you have a lot of fungus in you, yeah, fruits can give you a little bit of a problem, only because it's bioactive. It's a simple sugar. You know, when you got fungus, you're looking at fermentation problems. You don't see fungus growing on healthy fruit or healthy grains or anything like that, but you process it, make bread out of grains and put it on the counter and it'll start to get mold on it. Same with grapes. When fruit starts to have its day and starts to die and we need the atoms from it, yeah, then the microbes come in, fungus comes in and breaks it all down. Hey, good, look at all those atoms we can use. But when we get full of fungus, that's true. You know, it can play a role. You could try, you know, going on a green drink diet for 3 or 4 months and see if that brings some balance to you that way. You have a picture of your eye? You do. Okay. Here we go, guys. Let's take a look at what this young chap's got going. Nice eyelashes, though, man. Look at that. Well, fruit for 5 years is interesting to me because if you've been on fruit for 5 years, your eyes must have been a whole lot worse. You see all these blood vessels, Brendan? This is a sign of extreme acidosis in the body. All right, do you see all that? You see that particular, how that's laid out? The beauty of this is the shape of your GI tract. This is your colon on this side. Up by the nose is a small bowel. You have a little ballooning right here in the small bowel. That's a malabsorption ring right there in your pupil. That is because of that thick yellow-white stuff that you have around that bowel wall. Same thing here on the left side, but look at how much more involved lymphatically you are on the left side. Look at the difference, guys, from the right and to the left. So which kidney? Uh-oh, what's that? That's the left kidney. See how dark that is? And some of it's covered up with the lymph. So you have a very chronic left kidney, son. And you got to work it. Your leg is not moving well lymphatically, and some of the groin. This is the prostate. A lot of inflammation. All right. We're up in the thyroid, parathyroid levels, although you don't have too much of a skin ring, that's sweet. That's nice, man. You don't have too much of a skin ring at all. But you show me some thyroid, some parathyroid, perhaps. I'd be looking at that. You see how this is kind of swinging down and goes up and swings down and stuff? That's a little bit of prolapsing going on. You see it down in this area here. This is the appendix area, and you would assume, looking at this, how this goes up like this, that he had his appendix removed. I don't know, but it sure looks like it. Or that, or it's atrophied or something like that. This is the right kidney area. A lot of lymph in the adrenal glands. Spleen. But all I can say is the most important thing you can do is get your kidneys to filter. I don't care how long it takes or what you got to do it, because we all don't know everything about it. I mean, when you look at the lymphatic system, 90% of this planet is ignorant about it. You guys are only the few people on this planet that know truly what the lymphatic system's for. And I find that terrible. You know, I put out this information for 35 years, right? And that I've been in practice. And it just doesn't seem, it's vital to understand the lymphatic system and what its job is, the body's sewer system. Its job is to remove acids out of the blood. The blood does not deal with acids unless you keep eating protein diets. And that then becomes the problem. When you eat these high acid ash diets, then the blood has to deal with acids. That's not a good idea for the blood to deal with acids. It makes blood cells want to stick together. It leaches calcium out of the connective tissue, causes petechia, bruising easy, aneurysms, spider veins, varicose veins. Keep on going down that line. Acids are not the building blocks of life. Well, I would say that because amino acids are, but just to a limited extent. Your body cannot remain acidic and function well. Destroys. Look at what acids do. Look at the nature of acids and the nature of alkalis. Now, medical doctors like to argue, yeah, but everybody says alkaline says everybody. That means everybody's running around 11 or 12 pH. I flatly disagree with that kind of synopsis. I don't even know where you get that. Yes, a lot of these environments are alkalotic because of the sugars, the fermentation, the fungi and stuff like that. But ultimately, the side of chemistry that the lymphatic system has to deal with is the acid side and the destruction of tissues, keeping it away from that. And that's why you see lymph fluids in your knees, lymph fluids in your eyes, lymph fluids in your heart. You see lymph fluids everywhere as a protective fluid, not just a sewer system fluid, but as a lipid protective fluid. What happens when you lose your fluid, your synovial fluid out of your knees? Could we say bone on bone? But I wouldn't take it to max cell because I wouldn't go there. Even though, yeah, they carry the genetics, but, they don't carry the lymph. They don't carry that much. That's your mama. Let me see here. It seems the herbs I don't react to don't help. I don't know, you just got to work on getting your kidneys to filter. You got to use herbs to go after it. But you've got pretty good, strong genes, you've got myself and I'm going to be on the kidney formulas. I'm going to be on a lymphatic formula. I'm going to be on an endocrine gland formula. I probably would be on a bowel formula. Right there. That's a spastic area of the colon. Transverse colon as we're coming around. This is the splenic flexure, comes down on under your left chest breast area. But see how that's a little spastic right there? A little bit of a balloon area here, showing that the connective tissue's weak in the wall. And be careful in this area. This is the heart area, my friend. So you want to move your lymph. You got a lot of lymph around the heart. And in that chest wall as well. This is the back of your head here. This is could be your left shoulder area and your mastoid area. So a little lightheadedness, equilibrium problems. When I'm on the fruit, I get so tired I can barely walk and feel like I'm starving. Yeah, you got a lot of fungus. And you have big time adrenals. What's your blood pressure? See how low your blood pressure. If you get that way, take a little bit of licorice root, but I'd get fungal balance and suck it down like crazy. Get ahead of some of this fungus that you've got involved, and you'll do better with the fruit. But you can, while you're doing that, you could jump down and do a green drink diet for about a week or two. When I take adrenal glandulars and adrenal herbs for energy, it does nothing. I don't know, muscle test and see what that's like. Then use the licorice root, because that's how you increase blood pressure. If I take licorice root, here you go, I get my blood pressure 100 over 83 and energy up. It causes extreme anxiety. Whoo-wee. Well, you don't have to go as you have to study as she goes. You ever hear that old saying, study as she goes? Find yourself a groove here with the raw food. I'd try to get all raw. Do less fruit, more veggies if you want. I would do the fungal balance for sure. If you've done a big parasitic kill just to see. Also, definitely you see that a lot in the endocrinology, but I would use the endocrine gland formula. You let it work. You're not going to take a dropper of adrenal glands and suddenly your adrenal glands are going to start working. That's not how that works. You know, when you look at a dropper full of these herbs, there's only 10%, 15% at the most of any one of them in there. If you want to take more of one type of herb and you muscle tested and you feel like you get a good feeling on that herb, buy the tea of it. And make a tea of it or buy capsules. Then take 3 capsules. I've been using a sauna for 1 to 2 hours in total time per day. I do 20-minute session, then cool off, and I do that 6 times a day. Wow, for 3 months now, and I've improved a little with the anxiety, but at this rate, if I can't get my kidneys open, it will be 10 years until I'm functioning. See, and that's the whole thing. You got to get your kidneys open. But then the adrenal glands on top control. There's all kinds of catch-22s or whatever, but you can't let them stop you. Of course, people run into these kind of problems. Okay, plow through them. While you keep working it. I love what you're doing, though. You're working it. You see what works. You see how your body is. But I will say you're full of fungus. But your body is extremely acidic. This is why you're bumping into these things, because look at your blood vessels in your eyes, your sclera. I mean, you're just, you're inflamed all through your body, basically, what they say. So just even 5 years on fruit, I'd have to take a look at that. So I would say if you're going to do fruit, stay away from the acid fruit. Stay with grapes and stuff like that. And I don't know, but have you had a healing crisis or anything yet? I have chronic fatigue and life has been pure hell. Yeah. Well, okay. So let me draw where your adrenal glands are. Now listen, your left adrenal gland is involved with your bowels heavily. So you have to work on your GI tract as well. All this lymph, heavily lymph. You almost look like you have a tumor either on the prostate or on the adrenal gland. That's how bad that right one looks. The left one, this is it here. But you've got a good body. All I have to say is you keep working it, because you can look, but there's nothing else out there. There's nothing you can go buy, a supplement you can go buy, and suddenly the magic is there. No, you've got systemic problems. So you work them, and I would get on an antiparasitic, like a fungal balance or parasite M&G, either or all 3 of them, and go after them. See what you see. But it does sound like you're got a lot of fungal issues. But most of us do, I have to tell you. I have chronic fatigue. Okay, I have 2 daughters. Oh, that's cute. Now, concern the daughters. I mean, if you look at yourself, but then what about your daughters and the mother? Because the mother gave the lymph system to the kids, so you want to take a look at that. I have 2 daughters to raise and really want to be the father they deserve. You're working it. Don't beat yourself up. Relax. Take a meditation. You're working it. Not everything is perfect. Just before I came on here, I was having a long conversation with Jessica about the same thing. You don't know what drugs you have in you. You don't know what chemicals you've inhaled or put on your skin. In all these years, you don't know the chemistry on top of the lymph, on top of all this. You don't know what chemistry that's in your body as well. Neurotoxins, hemiotoxins, excitotoxins. But getting your kidneys to perform is the key. And that's why I say if you just went down to the kidney formulas, muscle test your own. See which kidney formula works the best for you. And then go after it. You know, you've got to go after your lymph and your kidney. That's your big issue for everything. Now, when the lymph suppresses the glands to the point of being chronic or degenerative, that's a serious problem. I want my life back so bad. I messaged you before. I'm the one with mold poisoning. Oh, yeah. See, I mean, I'm personally, I'm going to take fungal balance just because it's strong as hell. And I was going to take a dropper full 3 or 4 times a day and stay on it for about 4 months. You know, and see what kind of mucuses. I keep working on getting those kidneys opened up. So I would definitely be, if you can, you know, muscle test on these formulas. Muscle test on everything. I mean, if you're a sensitive person, you just can't, you got to muscle test everything. Or feel it, see if you can feel it. Get to the point, open up your psychic ability, open up your awareness. When you pick up something or feel something, listen to it talking to you. Don't try to talk to it. Listen to it talking to you. And it translates through your muscles and your nervous system. And so, you know, you can feel it. I can just touch something and feel if it's strong, weak, or whatever, what kind of power it has in it. And then it's, you know, then if it's a formula, then you got to go to individual herbs if you have a negative to it, if you want to go on with that way, but don't matter. Life was so fun, and I was so happy before. The mold is pretty bad. You know, you can get some serious mold poisoning. Some mold looks like razor blades. That's how bad they are. Breathing them in, you feel them in your lungs, stuff like that. But I don't only know botanicals that the safe way to deal with excessive fungus in the body, bringing an alkaline environment. You stop consuming fermentation. One of the problems, also, I didn't look here, is digestion. If you're not digesting your carbohydrates completely, then they're going to ferment on you. It's just like if you don't break down your protein properly, then it's going to putrefy on you. And then, I have body odor. That's a sign your body is not breaking down the food like it should. And then you get that sweet fungal smell, you know, in your urine and stuff like that as well. I mean, our body, take a look at how we've all been raised. Take a look at how our parents and all this, and take a look at all the diets and stuff. Humans are far, far away from thinking and realizing they're frugivores. You go into an old Italian restaurant and say, hey, did you know you all are all frugivores in here, and you shouldn't have all that spaghetti and meatball stuff? What do you think they're going to think? I mean, it's just the reality, and I hate it, the reality is that sometimes you have to suffer to finally let go and be free of things. And it's just, it's that way emotionally. Sometimes we hang on to our emotions and our jealousies and all that until it just ravishes us. Because it doesn't hurt the other person what you feel. It only hurts you. See, and that's the thing. It's only you that experience your thoughts and your emotions. It's no one else. I might recognize what you're going through because I've gone through it before. That's what all this is about, of course. But got a lot of lymph. You got a lot of lymph in your pituitary gland and a little bit of a weakness there. Not a lot, but a little bit. But look at that thickness up in your sinus areas. Your left kidney is not letting go like it should. You can see that. Look at all this is down your back. This is in your throat. This is up in the thyroid, parathyroid areas. We get up in here. See that? There's no easy answers to everything. There's not one answer to, you just work it, you know, muscle test. But I definitely believe, you know, you haven't got a hold of your mold problem, and that, to me, is a botanical issue. I don't know how long it would be just going on fruit and vegetables. And then a lot of people with heavy mold can't deal with the fruit. It's true. Kind of hard to deal with any carbohydrates. Problem. We have to have sugar. We have to have fuel to feed our cells. And if the fungus is interrupting the fuel and the process of ATP, that's a fatigue of another. That's not a neurological fatigue. And that's why it's important to get that out of you. And you can't just slip over to the protein side, feel better for a while because you're not dealing in the fungus side so much, but then you bring on the acidosis and then the higher bacterial problems. And then E. coli and things like that can settle in. H. pylori and things like that can settle in. Now you're fighting on that. See what I mean? So our species can handle some greens. Not a lot, but you can do that or do some cucumber juice and stuff like that. See if you can find a balance there with your sugars. But you want to go, you're going to want to find a herbal formula to go after your fungus, your mold problems. But you've got to get your kidneys filtering, man. Okay. All right. My personal testimony. Oh, wow. Hey, brother. Hey, man, who is this? This is Edwin. Edward, what is this? What are you doing, Ed? Whoa! Look at this guy, girls. Take a look at this He-Man. Boy, he looks good. Look at that. Tell me that guy don't look good. Look at that. That look good? Strong. Strong, man. Good, Ed. I just wanted to start with deeply thanking you for everything you go through and do for this world. Thanks, man. I love you. True warrior. Thanks, bro. It's so inspiring, and you are a true role model to me and millions of people as well. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on this true journey of detoxification, and I would still be unnecessarily suffering with all my symptoms. Well, you're looking good. I'll tell you what, man. You're looking good. I like the curly hair. Yeah, nice body. Nice body. Edwin, 25 years, young. Cool, man. And I've been meaning to reach out to you for a while now, as I don't see anyone else really building muscle on just fruit only. And I don't know why that. I never lost my muscle. Matter of fact, I felt 100 times stronger on fruit than when I kind of balanced out from it. I can't describe it. And we've got some professional runners, Olympic athletes, and they're on fruit, and their times are unreal. Matter of fact, I'll pull her picture down and show you one of them. She's sweet. She came to one of our classes, showed us a video of her running, and I mean, pow, whoa, far out. I've been on fruits only and herbal tinctures for regeneration for 2.8 years, consistent. So nearly coming up to 3 years, and I started in winter in the UK. Look at this guy, just on fruit. All right, just on fruit. But I've said this before. Some people got a good genetic background, right? Others, for me, I've got a background of a lot of work, a lot of farming, a lot of lacunas, but not deep. They're just like surface stuff, but a lot of mucus. So we were raised on milk. Like I said, you could pick up a 200-pound railroad tie, no problem, on fruit. But as I get in my 70s and a little more balanced out, I can pick up half one. Oh, God. I built my body through doing calisthenics, so body weight training and boxing is cool, man. I like that. And just wanted to take a bit of your time to help further show people it is possible to build muscle through alkalinity. And I needed this. I needed you to show this because a lot of people don't believe that. They go through the initial stages where the body is realigning itself, hydrating itself, and getting rid of its weaknesses. You got to realize the body can get rid of its weaknesses. That's what mother birds do. That's what all animals do. The weak don't survive well in nature. You notice that? Then humans are not surviving well. Why is there a hospital on every corner in our town? You come to Florida and you've got hospitals literally everywhere. Emergency clinics everywhere. And you always see these ambulances, these emergency clinics. But Ed, I appreciate that immensely. Love you, man. This is, you really look good. This is our dear friend. Now, he doesn't do it all with just fruit, Antoine, but we have a lot of them that use some greens, but I love that, 100% fruit. But think about this. Gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees of all sizes, they're only 2% different than the human. Only 2% different than the human. That's like, whoa. And you see some of these silverbacks, you notice nobody messes with them too much. Thank God they're of the frugivore family because they're not violent. You start feeding gorillas and primates meats, take a look at, I wouldn't go in the cage with them. It is proven fact that as you start taking on animal products as a human, you get aggressive, mean, angry. They've proved this. They've done study after study with this. So, that's why you can have a Jane Goodall. You can be close and respectful and stuff like that. But they'll rip you apart with not even thinking about it. But why can't we? What makes the humans so weak? This guy's not weak. And again, he's all on fruit. So the power this guy's got for boxing and stuff, I wouldn't want to go against him. Hell no. And the agility you get, the quickness, the ability to watch and observe. You're a lot better to observe when you're in a fight than to think. Because that way, it's just like any I am a martial art. I love martial arts. And I of course, I'm an old Bruce Lee fan, not only from his spiritual understanding of the God worlds. Bruce Lee, I just had a discussion with my son about that earlier. The awareness that Bruce Lee had in terms of the God worlds and all these different realms in heaven. He's definitely an out-of-body traveler. But his ability to get the chi and to channel that energy through his punches and stuff, I mean, I've seen him at work and it's like, whoa! Him and the chi, him and the divine, him and the ek, him and the prana become one. That's how you do it, though. That's how you understand who God is and who you are, is you have to surrender and absorb into the all. You can't look into creation with all the finiteness and try to find something that's infinite. Good luck. There's only one thing infinite in this world. And you know what it is? You. You're a good man. I truly feel amazing on fruits, energized and grounded, and the results only keep getting better. That's the way I am. But there's some people that struggle. Maybe like this one chap definitely has a mold poisoning, and that definitely set him off into a horrible thing. But take a look at his lymphatic system and stuff like this. So some people's endos are down, and it's tough working them out, but you got to work out of that. And kidney filtration is a key. I don't know how to. Oh man, this is pretty good. I love this. Calling for me. It resonates with me to advocate and live the rest of my life on this path, and to carry on living the purpose of. I can't imagine all fruit. I can't imagine being born from a raw foodist and they were born from a raw foodist, and you had mother's milk from a raw food mother, and you were a raw food, particularly frugivore, fruitarian type eating, from the day you were born, basically through mother's milk and then introduced to fruit, I can't even tell you where you'd be. I don't know if living on this planet would be possible because of a couple of things. The lowest, these low states of consciousness of humans is enough to really get you. And then, just the toxic nature of this planet. Sad stuff. I would think that, we should inspire in humans to grow and to do better and to get the body feeling better and to repair it and to clean it and to heal it and to regenerate so the next generation can be stronger and better. No, the next generation here wants to become a communist socialistic country. No, that's not into the works of things. That's just going to create massive problems. All right, this is Cameron, male, a 28. Well, we got young guys here, man. A 28-year-old young man, 5'8", perfect height, 130 pounds. So they're skinny. Glandulars for stagnant genetic endocrine weakness. Hey, Dr. Morse, huge supporter, and now nearing 7 years of applying. Whoa! Hey, you're kicking butt. Oh, man, you're doing good, man. And other fruit-minded natural healers as well. I last sent you a message in July of 2025. Not sure if you can recall, so I will recap my story. I struggled with my health all my life. Mental focus, mood swings, anxiety, and overall lethargy. When anybody says anxieties, where are you all going to go? Where are you all going to go? You're going to go to the adrenal glands. Yep, and neurological. So very important. Anxieties, you got to fix those up. Look at that lady. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of, but there's this lady now on trial for strangling her 3 babies and then cutting her throat, cutting her wrist, and throwing herself out the window of, a 2 or 3 story building. So she lived, and she's paralyzed for what they call life. We could get her up. But she is now saying that, and of course been treated for postpartum psychosis. What gets me is we have a planet with all these narcissistic medical doctors that have become specialists in the endocrinology field that haven't got a clue how to help some poor lady like that who I can't imagine how she feels inside killing 3 of her babies. That's like Andrea Yates killing 5 of her babies. This postpartum depression is a real thing for women. And when the medical doctors don't get it, then I don't know, why don't you go to school, our school? Go to take our classes. It's only going to cost you maybe a day's income or less, maybe a few hours income, to take a course. And learn the truth about things and how to heal and cure people and how to fix women up so they don't suffer so much. Nobody's set to kill their kids. So what's going on with this poor thing? And they don't know how to fix someone like that. You guys do. The students in my school better know how to fix someone like that. This poor lady, I feel for. And I feel for the children. Remember, nothing physical is real. Everything physical is just stacked chemistry, basically, elements. And the living, breathing soul inside, that's what counts. But still, to strangle 3 babies is sad, 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 sad. Now, Andrea Yates, like I said, killed 5 of hers. Thought she was having hallucinations. Said the devil said if you don't kill them, or God told her if she doesn't kill them, the devil will take them. Some people get deep in this, and most of our society doesn't understand it. They don't understand it, and so and when you have a a modality that puts themselves up, like the medical world, that they know everything and no one else knows anything, yet they're the ones that know nothing, and the rest of the world know at least a lot of things. I mean, what's going on here? That's why you see me very pro-female and very much wanting to fix and help females, because this is crazy. From the libido side all the way to, all of this. Sad stuff. We can fix each other. Right? We don't have to kill our kids, slit our throats, and jump out of a window. We can help her. She should have been helped years ago. And that's why, but, oh no, the nature past, these are all bad people. They don't know nothing. Yeah. Yeah. I struggled with my health all my life, and once I turned 16, I had extreme panic attacks. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and there's another classic example. That's why it's so important. That's why I'm kind of a little hound on look at your baby's eyes and see what your baby's weaknesses are. And as your children grow, work with that. And, of course, always work with the diet as much as you can. I wish, we had some higher level education schools that also understood more about health, or would allow the children to eat whatever they wanted without, calling child service. Oh, this child's always eating fruit. Let's call it child services. Where are we? I think that's why a lot of we know who don't land. Then comes severe head pressure. See, and this is the one that I've dealt with this all through my practice, is people with severe head pressure. Again, and that's why I talk about the transverse colon relationship to the head. It's understanding all these relationships and going after them. That's why you see a bowel formula in my kits. I'm going to clean your GI tract, enhance the function of the pancreas and a little bit of the liver so you can digest better at the same time. How beautiful is that? And also, you can move your bowels normally. In other words, you can have 1 to 2 stools a day, no constipation, and work on that and fix all of that. Because severe head pressure, because that's an edemic, acidic pressure. That doesn't bring anything but the destruction of neurons. That's not good. What was my name? You don't want to go there. Extreme digestive issues, of course, diagnosed as early Crohn's. But again, look in your, let's see if you got them. Okay, let me show you your Crohn's. See that white all the way around your bowel wall? See that white? That's your Crohn's right there. And what does that mean? Crohn's is just a name the medical doctors use, but what they don't. I'm not sure they know what they're talking about. This is all thick acidosis, thick lymph stagnation, right? It's giving you a little bit of malabsorption. There's a little bit, see that little brown ring there around the pupil? That's a malabsorption ring. You got strong genes here. They got a few nerve rings. So your adrenals are chronic. There's your adrenal kidney matrix right here, or right here, real close. Jensen would probably have it out here. I'd probably have it more here, to be honest with you. That's more prostate if you're a male, uterine, vaginal. Lower back, coccyx, real close to the bladder though. Yep, see all this? A little ballooning right there in your bowel, a little prolapsing here in the transverse bowel. And look on your hepatic flexure, a couple spots here going up into, maybe reflexing into the arm or ear. Liver, gallbladder. Want to work on that. Maybe a little pancreatic, not much. Yeah, not much. But, yeah. You just, And we talk about that. Why does that ring? Why does the lymph form so much more around that wall? And the only thing I can tell you, and the only thing that I can come up with, is the fact that humans eat so much protein. That's where all the acids are in the bowel, acid-ash foods. It just goes to show you that bicarbonate doesn't neutralize every acid that you eat. I think that is such a stupid idea in the first place. But anyway, that can burn your bowel wall. That's how you get tumors, Crohn's, but then it's just the next door to breaking down cells. And then they say, oh, you got cancer of the colon. You've been treating me for Crohn's all these years. I mean, I shouldn't. See, that's why you have to fix things. You can't treat. Treating only puts off serious problems and then makes them more serious. So, yeah, I mean, you just got a lot of lymph, even in the stomach, man. Your stomach wall, you got some lymph dealing with that. Little slight pituitary, not too bad. Over here, a throat. You got a throat weakness, so you might see when you see some of these, you might go through a detox and go. Right there, see that lacuna? So you might go through a little detox and then get a real sore throat. Oh, man, I can't talk. I don't know what happened. I just can't talk anymore. And you can do that on a detox easy. And when things start breaking up, you can feel it. You'll get a symptom from it. But what's the symptom in the first place? What's a sore throat in the first place? A disease? Oh, man, come on, man. It's just congestion. Just decongest, and the sore throat goes away. Oh! You understand a lot more about life when you understand acid and alkaline. You understand the cells and two fluids. You understand the mucosa and mucus and how the body works that way. Okay. All right. There we go. Hey, Dr. Morse, huge supporter. Thank you, my friend. Love you guys. And now nearing 7 years applying your... wow, my God, man, that's pretty cool. Then came severe head pressure. Got that one. I was effectively bedridden from the ages of 18 to 21. What kind of life is that? That's why I just wish we could get to parents and stuff like that. And all you parents, reading these, knowing that you don't want your children to end up like that and end up in the hands of the medical world. You do not want your children ending up in the hands of the medical world. Take a look at St. Jude's. Look at their commercials. If that doesn't grind your grits, we're going to show you what our therapies do to your children. And you're going to cry, and you're going to get emotional over it, but we want your money for it. Yeah, there's nothing else. We can't help your kids. We can give them chemo and all that. Yeah, they're going to look pretty gnarly, but come on and donate more money to our research hospital. Research what? How you build your pocketbooks? Research what? What's your research on? Cancer? What's cancer? You get into these sort of stupid things, and it's like, nope. It's just like at Las Vegas. Give me your money. Give me your money. I had no quality of life. I was effectively bedridden. Oh, man, that's horrible. And I've come to a point when I'm somewhat stable. Good. Digestion is perfect. They wanted to remove my colon. Ha! Oh. You never want to do that. I mean, we've had that. Remember, we had that young guy. He was a handsome dude, and he sent a picture. He had a picture of his colon out of him. It did look a little late. I mean, it was pretty chewed up, but he still didn't stop protein. You even told me, I'm still not going to stop all protein, really, after you had your colon cut out. Amazing. Yeah, they can cut out your bowels. That's what they like to do. That's horrible. Miraculously, I found your work and have done hundreds of days of fruit fasting, grape cleansing, bottles of herbs, saunas, natural treatments, and I've come to a point where I'm somewhat stable. Good deal. Especially after finding an upper cervical chiropractor for a hidden C1 subluxation. Sorry for the long introduction. I love a good chiropractor. I mean, a good doctor in all the right fields, all the natural health fields. I love a good chiropractor. I love a good massage therapist that knows kinesiology, a colon therapist that knows what they're doing. We have a good lady in town, been doing it for 100 years. Every hospital ER should have a colon therapist. And everyone that is admitted into the ER, you're going to go through the colon therapy room. And then you're going to go through the chiropractic room, and the emergency rooms. Absolutely. We're going to fix you, align your body, take care of you. That's a true naturopathic hospital. I've always wanted to open up a true naturopathic hospital and show this world what true healing is all about and what a hospital should look like. And the fact that you should have some live plants and atriums in a hospital where people can interface with nature instead of cold rooms. When we talked last, I was explaining how I still suffered from extreme depression and fatigue. Did you try the even years on near perfect raw and long-term fruit fasting hadn't healed my endocrine system? And I think this is exactly why the herbs. So if everything is consciousness, we're using consciousness to help consciousness, right? Basically, you could say that. Well, everything in creation is referred to as states of consciousness. So when you're reading spiritual books and stuff like that, you'll come across states of consciousness. That's creation. That's all your different levels of awareness or parts of awareness of the whole. Because once you become awake, your journey is starting to end. And you're starting to absorb into the one again. You're starting to let go. You don't care anymore. Things that beat you up, you're letting go. And the more you let go, the more freedom, your heart starts to sing with love and joy because you're free and you're channeling because you're moving into that. It's just amazing. What do you want? Okay. Oh, you're going to give me $5,000? All I have to do is what? But I'm still saying, you're into. That's why the herbs. I mean, the herbs to me are the divine, the magic healers. Twitchell saw that. That's why I call the herbs the magic healers. He saw that. He wasn't an herbalist. Of course, he did play with his sister out of body since age 3. I mean, the guy brought in so much to this planet of what exists out there, way beyond what this planet can handle. This planet can't handle some of these higher levels. Take a look at it. This is a warring planet. So all you new babies coming in here, all your higher beings, I'm excited because I'm excited to see how that energy interfaces with what's there now. To clarify that, my parents have major mental health issues, as do both of my siblings. You all have endocrine gland problems, so you go after that, and that's it. All I can say is that you can increase the potency, the amount of dosage. You can always go up with that. Muscle test and see what your body likes. I generally just give you a dosage that makes it halfway affordable and everything else. But let me tell you, if you're suffering from something, that endocrine gland formula, nerve power is full of some tonics. So those two formulas can be very good for what your problem is. Keep trying it. Keep working it. 3 or 4 dropperfuls a day. So what? When you think about it, each herb in these formulas are only about 10%, 15%, maybe 20, 25% in some. I've tried to make these newer handcrafted formulas less herbs, higher percentages. A little more of a kick. You know, you get too many herbs in a formula, they start thinning it up a little bit. For that, okay. So, I mean, this is sort of the problem. Everything is lumped in mental health. The problem is most mental health people need help too. I said that on one of the videos the other day. I had more psychiatrists and mental health therapists coming to see me for their problems. All which can make this take longer. Not to mention the C1 issue, keeping the nerve and spinal fluid flow from my brain. However, all right, and ask your chiropractor about it, what holds your skeletal, your spine in shape? You got muscles on both sides all the way down, right? But you have, each side is independent. So you have one kidney on one side, lymphatically working on that side, and the other kidney on the other side. So you always see one side of the body a little stronger than the other one, and it can pull your spine right out of that. That strong side can pull your spine to itself when the other gets weak. And so you've got to fix the lymph system to keep the spine to stay straight. Chiropractor can't keep adjusting. Adjustment doesn't keep your spine straight. I mean, it'll pull it straight for a while. Shoot, I could have a good chiropractor every 3 days. Especially when I'm making fence. I need a chiropractor. Matter of fact, I'm getting me one of those tables. I am. This chiropractor, he says, I'll show you where you get a good one. You know those where it rolls up your back? Oh, right up your neurolymphatic points. Nothing like it. Like I said, Jensen had one, and he said, you can have it, but how do I get it here? Yeah. All right. Well, you just have, all I can say, you've got some fairly good genes. You see that? That's your upper C-spine. That's why you have a problem. You see that? That's more up in the throat area and headed toward the thyroid. Right there is why, that's your C2 area. See that? And that's why you have that. You have a genetic weakness in that. And see that lymph building up around that weakness? So until you get that lymph pulled away from that, that's going to always kind of show itself as a weakness. You might have a healing line or two in there. But there's where your problem is, right there in your upper neck. It's your right, look it up. This is your right eye. You just got to work these genetics out. That's all I know. I mean, I'm giving you about all I know. Because there's so much to this world. There's so much to everything that, I mean, when you look at the medical world and the amount of money, research money that they pull from everybody and all this stuff, you would think they would have found the answers for you. The problem is when your foundation is wrong, no matter how much research, no matter how much, when you're what do they call it? When your set conditions are the same, and you're just looking for different outcomes. I mean, until the medical world breaks this idiotic concept of diseases and come into life and understand the lymphatic system is a much bigger deal than they ever dreamed it was. It explains all their inflammatory issues. It explains all the morphology and the changing of the morphology and breakdown of cells. It explains everything for them. But they choose not to. For some reason, they choose to remain ignorant, and that's kind of too bad. All right, guys. My son is down from Indiana, so I've got to spend some time with that young man, and I'll be back either this afternoon or a couple times this week. I know I didn't get to too many cases, and I apologize for you guys, but after all these years, you get the gist. But I'm real proud of each and every one of you. And the fact that you're asking me these questions makes me proud of you, because you taking the time, you want to know, why am I not getting this? Why am I not doing this? Sometimes I can only help a little bit because it's your body, and what's there. And remember this, that's why we did the spiritual side of naturopathy. Look at your emotional side, look at your mental side, and start letting them go. Don't wrestle with them. Yeah, I'm going to make you do what I want you to do. No. Phew. Oh, I hate that person. Whew. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. All that. Any negative feelings toward parents, kids, whatever. Mate, whatever. Get rid of it. Or it's a chain around your neck. And it's your freedom that makes you happy and joyful. When you start locking yourself into these rooms, these chained rooms of emotions and despair and thoughts, you can lock yourself away a long time, a very long time, lifetimes. But then there's real endocrine gland problems, but they relate to these bodies too. See, this all fits like this. It's hard to explain that. And the medical world will way from understanding anything like that. But everything is hooked intricately together. All your past life experiences, all these things are still chains. And you just got to let everything go and become a free soul. Free bird. Ooh, the free bird. Exactly. Love you guys. I shall return. Matter of fact, I'll have them take this off now, and then I'll just start another new video or something. Yeah. You guys are kicking butt, though. I mean, Edward, amazing boy.